Introducing the Open Palm Podcast, hosted by Jerome Shaw. Available today on your favorite podcasting platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor.fm, and many more. The Open Palm Podcast, where the host engages his listeners with inspirational messages, motivating themes, and thought-provoking ideas. Topics include: make more mistakes, how much is your value, don't get right, get going, learning to let go, excellence is a habit, and more. Binge listen today. Subscribe today. It's getting excellent ratings. That's the Open Palm Podcast, hosted by Jerome Shaw. You can also find it on YouTube. Make sure you share it with your social networks and connect on Twitter and Instagram at Jerome Shaw. That's the Open Palm Podcast with Jerome Shaw. Available today on your favorite podcasting platforms. Go listen, download, and subscribe now.
I once heard a quote by Stephen Larson that said, "Telling yourself you can't do something is like marching with a flag of failure." Have you ever told yourself that there were things that were really hard for you, or things that you did not know how to do, or that you couldn't do? Have you ever told yourself the person that you thought you were? And I put emphasis on told yourself. And then believed that you were or were not the person who you looked at and saw in the mirror. Well, my friend, you are not alone. I too have done this. But it has not served me as far as given me a limited belief in myself and in the life that I was destined or not destined to live. I realize now that I determine that I have the free will and the choice to become as great or as small as I would like to be. The choice that I can be good at something or not be good at something, but it is up to me to decide if I will or will not. So if you tell yourself that you can't do something, it is like marching with a flag of failure. Thank you for listening, my friend. Thank you for tuning in and being here on this episode today. Whether it is morning, afternoon, or evening for you, I pray that you are having a splendid day and that you made it productive and it was prosperous for you, but that you didn't go around speaking death on your life, but rather you were speaking life on your life. Too many of us, I believe, we listen to ourselves too much and we don't speak to ourselves enough. Words have so much power. I used to tell myself over and over and over again that I couldn't do math. Math is my worst subject, I said. I almost took pride in it. I'm just not good at math. I'm not a math person. Other people are good at math, but not me. I like reading. I like English. I like literature. I like acting. I like theater. I like other classes. Math is just my worst subject. I'm not a math person. And then I accepted this as self-evident for me. I accepted that I was just a person who would never be good with numbers. And my mind filtered this and said, I guess that's who Jerome is. That's who he says he is. So it must be. But telling yourself that you cannot do something is like marching. Left, right, left. With a flag of failure. Failure. Realize that fail is just an acronym. Fail equals first attempt in learning. Can you imagine a world if Thomas Edison, if he was afraid to fail? if he had let the fear of failure stop him from experimenting, would we ever have the light bulb today? If Nikola Tesla let the fear of failure stop him and told him he couldn't do something, if the Wright brothers let the fear of failure stop them and tell them they couldn't do something, what if they had all marched with the flag of failure, saying they couldn't do the things that they eventually went on to do? For it's not the absence of fear, but it is the moving forward, the failing forward in spite of fear, that is courage. For failure is not in the way, my friend. It is on the way. Paulo Coelho, author of The Alchemist, says that there is just one thing that makes your dream become impossible, and that is the fear of failure. The fear of failure. And notice, he does not say that failure makes your dream impossible. He said the fear. It is the fear. For fear is in the future. It is a projected thought, a projected thing that has not yet occurred, something that you are projecting into the future. It is not in the present moment. Fear has no place right now. So failure is not in the way, but on the way to success. But if you tell yourself that you cannot do something, you absolutely cannot, and you will not. It will be very difficult for you, just like it was for me. It's hard to break through mental barriers that we create for ourselves. We can build cages in our own minds, be trapped in our own minds. Winston Churchill says, "Success is not final. Failure is not final. It is the courage to continue that counts." Courage, my friend. In spite of fear, in spite of failure, these things are not final. These things all soon pass and may come again. But nothing is permanent. So, success is not permanent, and failure is not permanent. We need not fear failure. I would love for you to try this out in your life. Instead of saying, "I cannot do something," start to say, "How can I do this?" And instead of saying, "I don't know how to do this," add a 3-letter word. Yet. Yet. I don't know how to do this yet. I haven't figured this out yet. I'm not very good at this yet. Cancel out that statement, but affirm the possibilities. Affirm for yourself what you can achieve and accomplish. Affirm for yourself who you believe yourself to be and who you truly wish to become. You will, my friend, but not if you march with the flag of failure. Thank you for listening, my friend. This has been Jerome Shaw on TOP, that is the Open Palm Podcast here in Columbia, South Carolina. The Open Palm means harmony with the world, understanding our place in the world, using our skills accordingly, and greeting the world with an open palm instead of a closed fist. I pray that you received an encouraging message from this episode today, that you would share with a like-minded individual who is learning and growing just like you and becoming their greatest version. Pay this forward today, as I don't believe these messages are heard often enough. The world needs more people who are unafraid to fail. People have asked how they can support the podcast. Well, you can support the podcast by becoming a supporter, opening your browser now to anchor.fm/jshaw. And you could even leave a kind review if you resonated and really gained value, as it does help the podcast out and helps more people reach it. And you could do that on whatever platform that you are choosing to listen to it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my friend. As always, have a blessed day or night, wherever you are. Take care. Greetings, my friend. Thank you for listening to this episode. And I have a surprise for you. This podcast now has a Facebook group. It is called Marketing Motivation with Jerome Shaw, and it is a group for you and your online or offline business. It is a way to teach you how to market yourself, where you will gain many insightful nuggets to inspire you on your path. Whether you are seeking your own personal freedom, wanting a better life for you or your family, or just wanting to create some income on the side. Now, this is for your business. You can have your own podcast or your own YouTube channel, your own blog. Whatever market you are in, you will learn something. It is also a place with a community that we all share our voices because your voice has value. Join the group from the link in this description and have a wonderful rest of your day.